Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we'd like to address the theme, it starts in the field. What begins in the field? Well, for the technician, our choice of repair products or tools really begins in the field. It's determined by what the needs are in the field, and that might change from time to time. And especially for the suppliers that we want to address in this video in particular, the determination of what goes into the repair kits that are offered to the technicians, that determination needs to start by addressing the needs in the field. And those needs change. So the encouragement is to recognize these changes, and let's address that in this video. So as you know, about a year and a half ago, I proposed a video in which I introduced the targeted repair, and this is included, by the way, in the workbook, the Comprehensive Flexible Materials Repair Interactive Workbook. So one of the introductory pages here features for automotive a targeted repair instruction. And what that means is for each kind of repair category, we've addressed the items in the vehicle that need to be repaired, the ones that we see in the field currently, right? For example, in steering wheels, we find three basic kinds of steering wheels: the foam, leather, and the suede steering wheels, right? So all those three are addressed, and those will be covered in the class, in the workbook. And so for each item in the car that we're targeting, we also have a basic approach to repairing. So we're listing all of the products that you would use for that repair. Now, there could be more than one way to repair something, of course, but this gives us a basic approach, basically a quick reference, plan A, if you will, for each item in the car that needs to be repaired. And so as we mentioned in that previous video, what you could do is add up all of the items in this list, and you would have a basic repair kit to repair every item in the car that's commonly repaired today. And because we've had many new students lately, it's been my observation that there are many more products in the initial kit than what the students need. And what does that mean? Well, it's overwhelming for the student to have too many products. I mean, already there are just hundreds of names of products that he has to learn for the very first time. Now, in the course of the class, he's taking these products and repairing that item, those products and repairing that item. So he has hands-on for those specific products. And then in the review, in the interactive part, he's answering the questions that pertain to the principles behind each repair. And in there, you're doing a review of what you have just used. So then the student is proving by his answers that he understands both the method and the concept, right? The principles behind each repair. So any more than this is extraneous, right? It's overwhelming. And the students sometimes ask me, why have I paid all of this money for all of these extra products? And that's a good question, because we don't want to overwhelm the beginner technician. And that's been my observation. So for the class, we don't have time for a million products, right? We have time just for the products that fix these items, and that's it. And that's all we're concentrating on. So that is really going to be helpful if I were to offer a suggestion for the suppliers, because in two ways it's helpful. One, we do not overwhelm the beginning technician, right? And then two, everything that is offered in the kit is relevant to the repairs he's going to go out and see in his first day of work. That means that the student is going to be successful. Now, as a suggestion, let's say that you have a dozen heat-cured repair products that you have available for sale. Okay, but that's too much for the beginner student. The beginner student might need one or maybe two heat-cured repair products to choose from. That's it. But imagine a few months down the line, you could offer him a sample kit and say, you know, we've got a dozen different products that some people like, and these are the products. These are 12 heat-cured products, and here are the basic differences between each or the attributes of each product and why people want to use these here and those there. And then offer the sample kit for him. And by that time, he's ready for it, and he may not mind then expanding his horizons a little bit. But by that time, he's also been successful because he's not lost, at the very beginning by having too many products. I think that's very important. So it really starts in the field, right? It begins there to determine what goes in to the beginner technician's kit. Now, we all have to make decisions as far as what products we use, what tools we use. And let's go into the field now and take a look at why we might recommend certain products for the mobile technician and where we might not recognize the need for other products, even though they might be good products, why that might not be suitable for the mobile tech. Okay, so the one plexiglass we have masked off. The other plexiglass we're not going to mask off, we're just going to leave it like this. So the product I'm using here is called JetFlex. It's used in airport facilities everywhere. There are a lot of good things said about the quality of the paint and the durability of it, the hardness of it on plastic panels where it's intended. However, it is very thick, and technicians find some problems getting the finish they want. So they have to pick a tip size 1.3 up to 1.8 sometimes. Of course, you can also get a texture out of this really viscous paint. Here I'm using a full-size HVLP production gun with a large tip and getting a nice finish. So what do you think? Would that be a product that you could recommend to the automotive mobile repair technician? Well, obviously not. And the reason is that it's not versatile enough of a product. It does coat these panels as it's intended and does a very excellent job. And I've spoken to many people who have applied it and rave about how good a product it is. But it's simply not handy enough, not user-friendly enough for what's required in automobiles. For example, in my personalized coaching list, I have 7 different ways that we apply the color for different applications in automobiles. And these vary from fan to narrow to wide, distance from the work, the amount of air pressure per application, whether it's stationary or sweeping, or how the trigger setting is, the volume of paint, what setting that is, and also heat application. So these 7 different ways mean that our paint system needs to be more versatile for the automotive mobile repair tech. And as stated on our page on plastic repair in the workbook at the bottom, remember, our use of the paint gun is often not traditional, but artistic. So with all the different requirements for us from the various coatings inside an automobile, we have to be mostly artistic in the way we can use our paint system. And so this thick coating doesn't fit the bill. Neither does a coating that's often sold for interior repair technicians. That's a very thick coating, just like the JetFlex. As a matter of fact, it was made intentionally for body shops to use to recoat panels similar to what you just saw. Is it a good product? Yes. But is it suitable for the artistic kind of work that's expected in modern day automobiles? The answer is no. It's just not that handy. And that's been my observation. Now, I do have some experience with the system, and I was at a trade show when the president of that corporation came to me and he said, "Rick, we're having a little bit of a problem with our new water-based coating." And so we talked about it, and I offered him some suggestions, and it worked for him. It worked for the for the coating, and still working for them. And for his appreciation for that, he sent me a case of the product. So, of course, I used out of that case, and when I got finished using up all of the white in time to reorder white, because that's the color you use more, the pigment you use more than any of them, I decided it was not worth it for me to reorder white in order to save using the rest of the kit. So it all went into the trash. So I do have personal experience using it, and it's just not handy for use in the various applications that we face in modern automobiles. I felt like I was definitely handicapped, and like I had one hand maybe behind my back, preventing me from doing the work that I needed to do. So would that be a product then that we should include in our Mobile Tech's kits? Well, my opinion on that is no. It's just going to handicap the new student. He's going to have trouble, and he's going to really struggle with color. And I do know that there are places that sell just that kit, that water-based kit that's designed for body shops. And there are entire franchises that are built on there. And they don't have a good reputation either. Their technicians are struggling. So why not outfit your kit with something that's more user-friendly for the technicians and that gets the artistic job done easily for our modern cars? And my recommendation would be that those who are putting together kits to be sold to technicians really need to be in the field. It starts in the field. I feel they need to get out of the office and spend a week riding with a progressive technician, not the rattle can bandit kind, but the progressive technician, and they need to see firsthand and use it firsthand and see how user-friendly the products can be, what's really needed to fix things out in the field. Get a feel for it before you recommend it to someone else. Thank you for watching. I hope you found those comments encouraging and beneficial, especially for those of you who are putting together repair kits. In our next video, we'd like to go into the field and show some examples of how being in the field is your very best education. See you then.